experience. So it is, really cool to see that you guys are putting the gameplay and enjoyment of that, as at the front of what you guys are doing outside of, what I would say other projects are. Where do you guys compare with like what we saw, I guess, with the pinnacle of play to earn gaming with AXIE Infinity? Where do you guys think you guys compare with something like that for the Algorand ecosystem and greater crypto world?
Right. I mean, it actually did look like a cool game, but to me, it didn't seem like it was that fun. It was more of just a grind for a token. And I think they were also the first. So they had a tokenomics model. They were the first, and it worked well for a certain time period. I think we have the advantage of coming a little bit later, seeing maybe the mistakes of past projects. But I mean, really shout out to the Algorand Foundation, because with our grant, we got to put in the last 6 months to develop a fun game and not have to worry about selling NFTs to try to fund development. So we've had the last 6 months to build a game that we think will be fun. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think that if with a game, if you just create a game that's not fun but it has pay to earn features, I think you'll have some success, because it's new and it's somewhat innovative. But I think for long-term success, you need to have a fun game, and that's why we've really focused on that. We're building the game first. We want to, get feedback from the community, do a lot of community events, and that's our biggest goal. Make sure it's fun, and if you can have a game that's fun and earn at the same time, I think that's a big win, and that's what our plan's been. So,
Dev Fracus, I want to talk a little bit more about those inspirations, because I definitely was a big Digimon fan growing up. Love Pokemon. Can you talk about some of your favorite games or cartoons from that era of time?
Yeah. I love the Pokemon show. It was great. Like I remember the moment that I first saw it. Actually, my parents kind of made fun of me for watching it. I think I was like 10 or something. But I was obsessed with it. I bought like thousands of Pokemon cards when I was 10 to maybe 12 years old. Loved the card game. Played the card game. I didn't watch a lot of Digimon the show, but I played the games, and I think the games had a lot of our game has a lot of inspiration from the Digimon games, because Digimon was more pet care related, kind of more like Tamagotchi. Like Pokemon, you never really fed your pet unless it was like a item. But Digimon, you actually had to take care of your monster. Like it would poop and you'd clean it up and you'd feed it and they would die and stuff. So yeah, Digimon is a big inspiration. Neopets as well. Like my childhood was all about Neopets, and they actually followed us the other day. Neopets Meta followed the Fracctal account, and I was like, oh wow, like my childhood just followed me.
Right.
That's dope.
That's awesome.
No telling how many hours I spent in Neopets when I was younger. But yeah, huge Neopets fan, huge Digimon, Pokemon Red and Blue, Yellow, Gold, and Silver. I played. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yellow was great. Yeah, I remember playing Yellow. Yeah, so a lot of inspiration from Pokemon. Yeah, I love the classic Pokemon games. I still like, when I was in college, I played a ton of a Pokemon MMO, but I think Digimon probably is where Fractal has more inspiration from. Like pet care is a big thing. I liked Pokemon, but I thought they really lacked that pet care aspect, and it was more of just like turn-based battling, which was okay. It was fun.
Yeah.
But I always liked more of like real-time action and pet care. It felt like the pet was alive, and Pokemon never gave me that feeling that the Pokemon was alive.
Yeah. One of the things that our questions kind of just spur you on to kind of talk a little bit about, something that I think is really exciting with games just in general as they launch, obviously, is that when the game launches, there's some games just DLC, right? Downloadable content for the future. But the way you guys are rolling out your game is almost in either stages or phases, I guess you could say, with not only the types and traits of monsters that are going to be released, but also the lands and being able to explore. Kind of go through what we should expect as as people who are maybe wanting to buy these tamers and get their monsters when the game drops. What's the timeline and the roadmap look like for that?
Right. Yeah. So it takes a lot of work. Our artist Ross, he's actually the co-founder of the company. He's not super active in the NFT community. He's just working, and he's just a normal guy who has always been a lifetime gamer and huge monster taming fan. But I guess he's behind a lot of the game design and the map and everything. So initially we're gonna have plant monsters. There's 16 core monsters that he has to create. So he has to create those 16 monsters as baby form, as teen form, and as adult form. So that's 16 times 3 monsters. He has to animate them all and then give them all moods. So if they're happy, they're sad, they're angry. He does all the moods for that. Sleeping, like it's a ton of work just to make a set of monsters. So the 16 core plant monsters can be like generative into 4096 if you combine the different layers into different monsters. So that's 4096. So that takes about 3 to 4 months of him
Yeah.
designing the monsters from baby to adult, animating them, giving them moods, and he's creating sprite sheets and everything. So just to create one type of monster, it takes 3 to 4 months. And so we plan to release plant first. The plant monsters are ready to go. We could drop them today if we wanted to. But we're waiting until the game comes out, and then we'll do water and fire, and then we have all the other ones that we want to do as well. But yeah, Roz is great. He's amazing at what he does. The animations look great. The monster designs are all like unique and original, and yeah, I'm so lucky to have met him. It's been great.
Another thing I think is cool, which I'll let you talk about, your all's website, right? You guys it's not just going to be where the game is at. You guys are going to have an entire marketplace inside your website.
Right. Yeah. So we want to have all of our development work on our website. We have a marketplace, so users can sell monsters to each other. They can sell monsters for tokens. They can sell monsters for items. So you can do any type of swap that you want to do.
Wow.
We're going to limit the options for tokens and stuff. So we'll probably have partnerships where for a limited time you can buy this with Carrot or whatever project we want to partner with at the time. So we have the marketplace. The monsters will all be there. The tamers will be on any marketplace like RAN or AXN. But the monsters will mostly be like exclusive to our marketplace. That's the best way to view the stats and to like fully display the monster. We also have a shuffle system on our website, so a pack system where you'll that's how we're going to do our tamer drop. You'll randomly get a tamer. We'll also have that for the monsters as well. Want to do a pack system where you get items and monsters on the shuffle page. There's also a profile. There's profile functionality, so you can select your favorite tamer as your profile picture. You can customize it and display your favorite one. It'll show all your tamers that you own, and it also shows all your monsters, and you can select a best friend. And you can see like transaction history and everything. So you can see like Defracus bought this monster from Block for this price at this time. And so just everything's visible and transparent, and you can click on names and see what everyone's doing. So it's really cool.
Amazing. I have another question if we didn't answer this yet. The gameplay, like, is this something that we have to download, install to our like a laptop, or is this all web-based type of game? Can you break that down?
Yeah, the initial version is on web. It's you don't have to really download it. I mean, it's downloaded to your browser technically, but it's not like you have to download an application. So it's on the website. You'll play through the browser on our website. We want to, the end goal is to get on mobile apps because we think that having a pet on the move, having notifications that your pet's hungry or bored, it'd be great to just, log in on your lunch break and feed your pet. So that's the end goal, mobile. Nice. But initially, testnet will be browser based only.
Yeah, I was going to ask a question kind of pertaining to that, because obviously one of the things you think about that could be a drawback to these Web3 games is, one, while playing the game, how much will, like transaction screens, affect it? Like how often should someone, if they're going to sit down for a 30-minute gaming session, how often should they be expecting to have to sit there and sign transactions? And also, with kind of what you said, being able to play on the go, like say someone goes on a vacation for a week or 2 weeks and they're kind of away from their desktop, or they don't want to, they want to turn off their phone, right? They want to disconnect. Is that going to really hurt your progression bad in the game and stuff? And so kind of elaborate on that.
Yeah, so we're experimenting. To the last question, we're planning maybe a daycare feature where you can put your pet in the daycare, and if you want to go on vacation, pay a little fee and your pet will be fed and taken care of. And there may be like a drawback to that, like maybe your bond goes down a little bit, but at least your pet's not starving and like hates you now. So yeah, there's like mechanics there's mechanics in the game. So like the better you do over time, like the more the monster likes you, the bond goes higher, the better they're going to do in combat, and the higher the chance they're going to evolve. So there's like a bond stat behind that. Yeah. And your first question about transactions, and we're experimenting with that as well. We can do things like clawback for items. So let's say you want to feed your pet an apple. Like once we verify that you're the person requesting that action, we can claw back the apple and not make you sign a transaction. So we want to reduce the amount of like friction in Web3, like pop-ups and stuff. We want to try to reduce that as much as possible. There's other clever ways to do that. Like let's say you find an item in the game, maybe it goes to like your virtual inventory on the website, and then you just have to go to that page and claim it. So there's ways around to just having to constantly sign transactions all at once. Yeah. And there's pre-opt-ins and stuff like that. But that is a big focus for us. Like we want to make sure that you're not constantly signing transactions, and almost to the point where you don't even realize it's a Web3 game, except for the fact that you can sell your items. Excellent.
I love it. There's some questions in the chat that I wanted to, get at. Is how is the difficulty level of the game? What aim is it for rookies? Like what's the level? Oh, there you go, JT. Thank you.
Yeah, so aimed for all ages. I think maybe 10, 20 years ago you asked who's a gamer, and you would say PC players, WoW players, Call of Duty, but I think everyone's kind of a gamer now. Like my grandmother plays Word with Friends, so maybe she would like raise a little virtual monster. So at that level, it can be extremely casual. Like you log in, feed your pet, like that's not hard. Click a button and feed your pet. Go into the forest and shake a few trees and try to find some apples. That's not that hard. We do want competitive gameplay. Like the combat, we want to reserve that for competitive players. Like you don't have to partake in combat, but if you want to try to be the very best, then that's an option for you.
Nice. Okay. Missions and tasks. You said feeding your pet. So what are some more missions and tasks?
Yeah, we plan to do dailies. So like, battle, win one PvP match, explore the forest, things of that nature. And just like any traditional game, like Rocket League has dailies, like win 3 matches. We want to do something similar to that, gamify the process. So you have an incentive to log in, not just feed your pet, but do little missions, like get a score of 50 in the training mode if you guys in the training mode, stuff like that. Something to kind of keep you engaged outside of just dropping food on your pet to make them happy.